All right. Every day is Earth Day with Laura Madden, especially when it comes to her art. And Lauren has joined us today with some really cool collaboration you're doing here. How are you?
Yes, good. How are you?
So, first of all, yesterday with Earth Day, people were talking about recycling, pretty much redoing stuff like that.
Reimagining, reusing.
Reimagining.
Yes.
One thing that was very important, I saw a documentary on our fabric and our clothing that we go through ridiculous. Especially like if someone wins the national championship and the other team doesn't, they go dump all that stuff, over in other countries.
Yeah.
And you're like, don't do that. That would be beautiful art, be great pieces. And that's why you've noticed some guys around town, and ladies too, who pretty much have these pieces there, and they always get new ones. They're always doing it because they get them messy.
Yes.
So who'd you decide to collaborate with?
Yeah, so very, very exciting. The first one I'll point out is with Chef Christopher Gross, James Beard Award-winning chef here in town, local celebrity. And so he had these old chef coats that he's worn at fundraising events around the world. And so he approached me about maybe using them in some of my sculptural art because I do use fabric remnants.
Yeah.
And I was really thrilled. He decided not to throw them in the trash because, what do you do with them when you're done?
Right.
So this is the remains of a coat that will be made into something. This is a pocket from a coat, will be made into something. This is one of the coats which actually now lives on this sculptural piece right here, which was so fun to make because it's almost like a piece of his history now living on this piece of sculptural art.
And I'm noticing there's numbers on here, and I know that's where some of his jackets do have numbers on them.
Yes, well, this is his special number 144. So you're going to see that on a lot of his stuff. If you go to his website, his restaurant, Christopher's at the Wrigley, it's going to be everywhere.
Wow.
And then we have this coat here. This is actually, it's actually a ton of fabric. So imagine all this going into landfill. I'm so happy to be able to reimagine this into more artwork.
I love it.
This is actually going to be made into a piece that's going to be on auction at a fundraising event he's doing in May for the Liver Foundation.
And I got to show something. You guys got to realize how important this here, this stitching is. That's actually Christopher's signature.
Yes.
And it's so funny that I've known him for all these years, and he's never signed anything for me. You know that?
Well,
and it's very hard to get him to sign stuff. I know. But this is great, and I love what you do here, and that's what your art pieces are taking these old fabrics.
Absolutely.
But I love that you also teach people that they could do this self with some of their favorite things, baby blankets, baby clothing, favorite T-shirts and stuff.
Correct. And so these are also fabric remnants from a menswear fashion designer he does bespoke, very luxury garments, and his name is Mark Pomerantz, and he gave me some of these fabric remnants, super luxe materials, and that is what you're seeing on this piece right here. So that's Mark Pomerantz. It's wool, it's, very exquisite fabrics. These are also going to go into the making of a piece. And then we have another fashion designer in Scottsdale, Ruby Farias. She has these also exquisite fabrics.
Look at those.
These are just scraps. Literally, what do you do with scraps? Well, these are going to become a whole collection of work. These are going to be framed. But, the detail on here is really, really exquisite because of the detail.
Of the fabric.
From the fabric.
And I think that's what people have to realize. Like, you get these great little fabrics from just making stuff, and they're kind of like, great pieces to put over these. And that's what you do with this art. So when you make something like this, are you sitting and kind of like thinking about how it's going to look, or are you just kind of like waiting for it to happen?
I just go. I try not to think too much because then it just falls apart. But, I do have a very specific aesthetic I want to achieve. I like avant-garde, I like modern, I like very fashionable art. I really intend for this to be fashion for your walls. And, I hope I've achieved that. Over here, we've got some color blocking. I don't use a lot of color.
Right.
Obviously, I love black and white. I love metallics. It feels really fashionable. But I decided to take a risk. This was also part of the Chef Christopher Gross collection. These were framed by Hall of Frames. And, they're just...
those are beautiful.
Like bursts of energy.
Yeah. So, okay, this is very smart people out there. Listen, graduation's coming up.
Yeah.
And probably you have the high school graduation
gowns,
then you have the college one too. Why don't you take those and make them artwork that you can stick on the wall to remember the kids, right?
Totally. And if they do, I want them to tag me because I want to see it.
I like that. Now, I love you these pieces. But can people bring you stuff and you'll do things, collaborate with them?
I will. I do commissions, and that was part of how this came to life, these collaborations, because people were bringing me remnants from their lives and asked me to make very specific pieces. And so, yeah, I really love doing that because, you know, it's like 92 million tons of textile waste go into landfill or are incinerated every year. It's
we got to take care of the planet.
Yes, we're taking care of the planet.
Love it. Lauren, thank you. And also you got to check out Lauren. She does live demonstrations, all kinds of stuff on her Instagram and her social media. Information's right there on the screen. Also, we have information over on the cw7az.com. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.